Hey guys, please make sure to watch the whole thing. It really helped me out a lot. So today we're going to be talking about how Pep City are a really effective side and the downfall of them and how they haven't really been performing that well recently. So as you can see, Pep looks at the field, he looks at the pitch in a completely different way. He actually separates into sections that his players have to study. He separates it into a low option area, which is often used for attacking fullbacks to put in crosses on the ball. He has half spaces, which are often used by tricky players to receive the space in certain positions and really put the ball in and create chances. De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva are excellent in doing this. Another half space for the other creative player to take up, and Cancelo or another left back and other players operating here. The thing about the city system is that these four players will often interchange within themselves, confusing the defense. Let's say Jesus was to take a run here, and let's say Cancelo's on the ball. Obviously, it's going to tuck in here. You're going to have this sort of a thing. So if you free up this space, even if Silva makes this run, it's going to be tucked in. You have a ball to Fernandinho because of the overload on this side of the pitch, with everyone starting to tuck in a little bit more. This means that if Laporte makes a run here and they cover a little bit, and Fernandinho drops in as soon as they drop it, they have an attack going. They have an overload on this side of the pitch and are able to put in a ball from like Walker or De Bruyne. So this is what City try to do. They maintain effective position, but they use their center mids to really be able to progress play. And they do this by being smart and good on the ball, which is really important. The thing is, Pep can't succeed with players that aren't smart on the ball because his system just isn't for them. He doesn't rely on like speedy players. He relies on people that are good at finding runs. They're able to play one touch and good football, and overall just good intelligent players. That's what he needs to succeed. If he was handed a player like Juan Bissaka, he wouldn't be able to do great with him because it's really hard to teach that, and you have to develop that sort of a level of intelligence to be able to play at this level. Let's take a look at the half space, right? Half spaces are operated most likely by De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. Of course, the City lineup always changes. City have a lot of squad depth and rotate their players a lot. Here, this part is very dangerous in Pep's opinions, and he has basically two wide number 10s, or at least that's what he likes to call it. He believes that when the players play out wider in the half space, they're able to create more chances because they have more of the pitch to be able to look at. So De Bruyne can easily find a run. He can dictate the play from here, and same with Silva from here. In fact, doing this, they can change the ball and they can change the direction of it in many ways, and it just works better overall. So this zone works as well. What he demands, especially when in possession, not in the final third, he demands players to take up all of these spaces. He wants them to be even and he wants them to create overloads and move the ball around. As Pep has said in interviews in the past, the goal is not to move the ball around, the goal is to move the players around. And doing this effectively by making runs and by trading positions, which you'll see Pep often yell at the players to do during games, it makes an effective team and makes his team work really well. Another thing I want to touch on is because this team is so intelligent and smart, they're able to create midfield triangles. As you can see, I've demonstrated the high line that City play, but sometimes they'll spread out a little bit, especially, which can make them vulnerable at times. So, in this sort of a thing, in this sort of a back three covered with a center mid, you can see when City love to play out of the back, they'll play to Fernandinho, Rodri, open up, Laporte, Walker, everyone here they're able to create midfield triangles in this quadrilateral or diamond shape. That's what they do best. They have other players like Silva, Jesus, Cancelo. They have them creating triangles as well because this is important, especially in one-touch play to progress the ball. Without these triangles, if you had shape like this, it's harder because you have to open up, play this ball. When you have triangles, you're able to make runs. See, if Diaz plays to Fernandinho and he starts making a run here, Silva, this guy, he has to either run back and mark him or he has to be picked up by him. So even though this run may not do much, it opens up this space for Jesus to look and find, for Silva to look and find him. So overall, even that run with the midfield triangle, it's just a demonstration of how effective it can be. Another thing about the city system is that it requires the players to be diligent about where their space is at all times. If another player takes up another space, If Laporte is roaming here, Walker will have to go back, otherwise they're vulnerable again. So they have to be diligent of this, and City do a pretty good job of this. Whenever one player takes up another position, the player will make sure to take up the other position. Pep demands the players to never take up the same space because that limits the options for the passer to play, which results in less chances being created. He's really mad about that as well. Another thing about Pep's system is that he gives players freedom in the final third. Like if they're here, he wants them to be able to create chances and really score from this. That's unlike many managers because they usually have a set style of how they want to score. Let's say crossing, putting the ball in, scoring. Pep's fine with anything as long as because they have the quality to do this. Unfortunately, when these creators have an off day, it doesn't work as well, and they have to divert to another way of scoring. And sometimes it just doesn't work out, of course. So this system relies a lot on the individual brilliance of the players in the final third, and it's not like a set counterattack, oh, we're going to get the ball, just run at them and score. It's really reliant on the players being able to open up and find spaces to create these chances. Of course, Pep is also very adamant about how his players move up the pitch in defense. He wants them to really get up. He wants them to have a high line. They want him to move. They want to move as one. They won't hold a flat line most of the time. They'll hold Diaz. They'll have Rodri or another center back a little bit deeper, because of course these center mids will drop into these center back positions as needed, and Fernandinho or Rodri will act as a shield. These center mids will occupy any position if, let's say, Diaz goes on a run here, you have De Bruyne or Silva go back. It's a genius system and it works really well for this team. Lately, they've had struggles being hit on the counterattack because they really don't have pace, and with Kyle Walker playing way more attacking these days, they're just vulnerable and they aren't being able to defend it. Especially with the mandate that they throw up sometimes, they really want to score these goals. They want to create these opportunities. City actually create a lot of opportunities, just the finishing that's been letting them down recently. I don't think the points tally is a good indication of how good of a team they are. I still think they'll definitely make their way back in the table and they'll start to catch up form again. But their struggles have been underlined on their bad finishing and poor positioning to let up a goal. There have been many goals where a run has been drawing out the center backs and they're confused, which creates more space for them to go. And it's simple. Fernandinho just can't get back that quickly. So this is definitely an issue for City. I think that they will easily fix this. They're really good at moving the ball around and creating space, especially in their passing. And I think if they keep it up, they keep passing and moving, they'll definitely start to figure things out, even though other teams are starting to figure out City's tactics more and more. Alright, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.